Hola, ¿cómo están? Hoy he venido al stand de la gente de United Studio Design. Vamos a hablar con Chad Kelly, que es uno de los big bosses detrás de esta marca. Es una marca que hace muchos productos, entre ellos muy buenos micros. Les llevo siguiendo mucho tiempo, más o menos un par de años, de hecho un poco más. Y finalmente hoy he podido poner las manos encima de los micrófonos, que suenan muy bien por lo que he escuchado en YouTube, pero es que cuando los he tocado la calidad es espectacular. Así que estamos aquí con Chad, que nos va a presentar la marca. Chad, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás?
Hey, good, doing good. Good to see you today.
I'm very happy to be here. So this is a very interesting guy because I won't say which people, but he has been in the market for a long time, working very good with a lot of very important brands, and he's a guy that understands and know the know-how very well. So finally he decided to found his own brand and do his own things with along with other friends and partners, and he's doing a very interesting work with the microphone. So let's take a look to the whole line, but especially let's focus in the microphone area because you know I'm a microphone lover, and these one are really nice. Chef, what do we have here?
All right, well I'll walk you through a lot of our products here. So the one, let's start with the Twin 48. So this is sort of our flagship microphone. It's a tube microphone that is our homage to the original U47. It uses an EF86 new old stock pentode valve, and the EF86 is the only pentode that's still manufactured today, and as many people know, the original VF14 steel tube was a pentode, and so we tried to get as close to the original part as we could using contemporary components. The great thing about this microphone is that it is user serviceable and it will never wear down in terms of having a part that you can't find. So with classic microphones, a lot of times if the original tube or the original transformer goes out, you're in a lot of trouble. With this, it uses modern film capacitors that are custom designed to sound like the original paper and oil and wax capacitors. It uses an EF86 tube, which you can replace with any new production EF86 tube and you'll be just fine.
So here we have the transformer. Can you tell us a little bit about it? Because I saw you have two different options that you can switch from 47 or 48. It means you have two mics?
Exactly. So this emulates the sound of both the classic 47 and the classic U48. And the reason we wanted to do this is because the 47 and 48 have a very subtly different cardioid response. The cardioid in a 47 is a little bit more big and open and clear. The cardioid in a 48 is a little bit more warm, intimate, and closed in, and a little bit lower sensitivity. And many people prefer the sound of the 48, many people prefer the sound of the 47. So we designed a way to emulate both of those microphone characteristics in a single box, where it's relay controlled and it's changing the circuitry in the high Z and amplifier section of the microphone.
So basically you have two mics?
Two mics for the price of one,
wow.
That's right.
What's the price for that one?
This one in the US is $14.99.
$14.99, which is not expensive at all. The quality looks very nice, very well built.
And it's meant to last a lifetime. And we worked for almost a decade behind the scenes trying to get this microphone to give us the vintage sound without the reliance on new old stock and exotic components. We did not want to make the microphone in a way that would leave people in a bind or that we would have to discontinue later when we ran out of some hard to find tube or capacitor or part. It took a very long time to get the vintage sound that we wanted using modern components, but in the end we did get there, and it was really worthwhile.
Nice. And what about this one?
So this is a newer tube mic that we just released last year. It is the Tube 67. It's our take on the classic 67. It also uses an EF86 new old stock pentode valve, just like our Twin 48. It has the three patterns of a 67 omnicardioid figure 8. It has a custom wound US-made BV12 transformer, and it has a custom-made K67 capsule. So we worked with a new capsule designer to reverse engineer what was considered a golden specimen K67 capsule from the 1970s that had a really rich lower mid and mid-range, a little bit thicker sounding than they typically do, but still within specification. And we were able to figure out why this capsule sounded so good, reverse engineer it, and mass produce it. That capsule is only in this microphone, and you can never get it anywhere else except in this microphone. Everything came together really well with the custom BB12 transformer, the custom capsule, the new old stock tube.
And
really,
I can see you have a normal and an air mode.
Oh yes, we should talk about that. So the air mod is based on an obscure modification that was done years ago to some U67s, where you would disable the tertiary feedback winding of the output transformer, and it would take away some of the de-emphasis, meaning that the top end would become a little bit lifted.
Okay.
And in my view, it gets you a little closer to the sound of the Sony C800G without having to spend $12,000. So the air mod is like having a different mode, a little bit brighter, a little bit more articulate and crisp. The high frequency transients are a little sharper. And
again, it's like having a second mic because
it's become one of our hallmarks. We're kind of known as the maker of twins because we have our Twin 48, our Twin 87.
Oh, I see. Now I understand.
And the Tube 67.
Makes sense. Very nice. That's very smart because I mean nowadays people with inflation, life, cost, and everything is so complicated to have different mics. But if you can have one mic that offers you different tonalities, different colors.
Right. Well, if you've ever been in the studio where you're trying to match a microphone with a performer and how much time it takes to take something down and set something new up and get them ready, it eats up a lot of time. And with most of our products, with one switch, you can audition a new microphone and decide which one you like better. It also really became popular with voiceover and recorded animation because people who do different animated characters can flip a switch and get a slightly different sound to identify a different character in a cartoon or in a film. And so it's become really famous with the voiceover community for that reason.
And for example, for today's modern music, we're all looking for a bright, airy vocal. So having those two mics, those two options is pretty interesting to have a very versatile microphone.
I agree. Our very first microphone that had two modes was the Twin 87, which I don't have out right now, but that was the U87 replica that had reproduction of both the vintage and the sort of AI version of the 87. But that does kind of lead me into one of our new products, and this is what we're showing for the first time here. So this is the vintage 87, or I call it the Vin 87 for short, and this is basically a simplified version of our Twin 87 where we took away the modern mode switch, we took away the pattern selection, and we just gave it just the bare minimum of
so you simplify it.
Of features, yes. And by doing that, we were able to make, without compromising the quality at all. Same capsule, same transformer, same electronics, but we were able to get the price down $200. So this is only $399 US.
$399 US.
Yep. With no compromise to quality at all, just fewer features than the Twin 87, which is $599.
Okay,
so many people, we found out, as much as they love having the two modes and they love having the features, most people, most of the time, kept it in cardioid and kept it in vintage mode. And so the idea was, why make you pay for something you don't need? So if you love having those additional features, then please, the Twin 87. But if you don't need them, the Vin 87 is only $399.
So basically, to put everything in perspective, we have these three mics that we have been talking about. We have the big box that is $14.99, right? We have the 67 style. How much is that one?
$11.99.
$11.99. We also have the FET 47.
UT FET 47 is $8.99.
Pretty nice looking. The quality is very good.
Thank you. We're very proud of it. It's our first product. We still assemble that in Baton Rouge at our workshop.
And the other one is $2.99.
Thank you.
What do we have here?
All right, so these are our first foray into hardware. These are our two small boxes. The Vintage Direct, which is a transformer coupled DI box, and the Replay box, which is a dual transformer coupled reamping box. So
very nice because you can get some color from there.
Exactly. So the Vintage Direct is based on a very old transformer that was used in some of the very first direct boxes ever made. Made by a company called the United Transformer Company, UTC, which was one of the inspirations for our company name. And the UTC made a transformer called the A10 back in the 1960s, and that was used to build some of the very first DI boxes. It's a very large large, heavy transformer by today's standards. So we made our reproduction of that transformer, and we spent 2 years working with the transformer winder, trying to get that transformer exactly right. We finally got something that we really love that is almost transparent, but still adds a touch of weight and richness and three-dimensionality to the instrument that was not there before. It's subtle, but it is there. And with the way this box is designed, I didn't want any potentiometers or resistors or capacitors or anything that would rob away tone. So the way this is designed is the instrument always hits the transformer directly, nothing in between. Okay. And all of these features are on the output, which is far less sensitive. So the transformer actually has multiple taps. So when you turn this rotary switch, you're actually adjusting different taps on the output of the transformer. So the transformer is doing all of the work. It's a very complicated, heavily engineered transformer, very large and very expensive to make. Everything on here is accessing the transformer or accessing the output XLR. It's all passive, and like I said, I didn't want a bunch of components in here. I wanted the transformer to do all of the work because in my mind that gives you the purest tone that's possible. And because the transformer is so large, it doesn't need an input pad. It's basically unclippable because it's huge. You could take the loudest Moog synthesizer, plug it in here, no problem. And this is our reamping device.
So what do we have here? This is our double reamp plus.
Yeah, so it has 2 different modes. There's 2 different transformers. One transformer is incredibly transparent. It's absolutely flat, no distortion. The other transformer is deliberately wound to give you harmonic saturation, richness, and a thickened low end and lower mid. So if you want some flavor, you have this one. And if you want absolutely transparent reamping, you have this setting. They're both transformer driven. They both provide about 6 dB of net gain. In other words, about 6 dB higher than the input, which is all the gain you need to do reamping, and it's louder than almost any other reamp on the market. You have ground lift, and this is true ground lift that isolates the input from the output so that you don't have ground loops in the studio. In case your amp is in one room and your control room is in the other room, you don't have to worry about inducing ground loops. In fact, both of our boxes have true ground lift, and you have phase reverse in case you have a speaker that's wired out of phase or something you need to correct for that, you can correct for it. These are really high quality pots. They're custom made. They're rated for 1 million rotations, which means the pot will last forever. And just like with our other box, everything is recessed so that if it falls off of a guitar amp or falls off of a stage,
everything is protected.
You will be protected, absolutely. And this is one piece of solid milled aluminum. You could step on this, jump up and down. You can throw it in the back of a tour bus. It should be incredibly durable and last a lifetime.
Very nice. Bueno, mi gente, la verdad es que tengo muchas ganas de probar los DIs que tienen esta gente, muy interesantes, y sobre todo voy a intentar ver si puedo traer al canal los micros. Así que ya ustedes saben, estamos activos, espero que hayan disfrutado de este vídeo. Gracias por estar ahí, y yo, make it a shot. Can you say hello to the people?
Hello.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you for looking.
So much. He's a very passionate guy. I love to work with passionate people, and you can feel it. You can feel it.
All right. Well, thank you for letting me talk about our products, and I hope you'll get to try them out.
Thank you, mi gente. Seguimos.